Hello, I'm Steve Morris. I wrote a book called Do It Yourself: A History of Music in Medway, and I'm doing a series of videos with people from around Medway who know some stuff about music from around here. Today's victim is Fizzer Rippon, whose voice may well be familiar to people who listen to the Sunlight radio show on Monday evenings, wasn't it?
It was Monday evenings, yeah.
Monday evenings, around about 9 o'clock, I think.
8 till 10.
8 till 10. Well,
it was originally Saturday. Well, definitely 9 o'clock it was on, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
8 till 10, no, sorry, Saturdays 12 till 3 originally.
Yeah.
And then we moved to the Monday night slot.
Yeah, and you were working with Phil Dillon and
Yeah, I mean,
Anne-Marie.
Phil, Anne-Marie, Marth,
Yeah.
from Los Salvadores. There was also people before that. There was Grace, there was Jake, Brandon was the first producer, Beth and Ross, and lots of people helped out over the years. Yeah, but the final team, it peaked with me, Phil, and Marth. I think that's when it peaked, and then crashed and burned when Phil left, ruined it.
Ah,
Feels great.
Yeah. So what was your introduction to music in Medway? What was the first band or artist that you saw or heard or whatever?
Well, when the show started in 2009, the show started, I just wanted to do a radio show. Somebody had said, I did some radios down in Brighton, helping out on Juice FM. Did a couple of shows because a friend of mine at the time owned BIM, the Brighton Institute of Modern Music.
Okay.
And they had their own radio show. And we was at Wednesday. We said, "Why don't you come down to the radio?" So I think he'd enjoy it and stuff like that. So I went down to that and I did a show the show's called the Damo and Ace Show, and I did 1 week with Damo, and the next week was with Ace, and Ace was the guitarist from Skunk Anansie.
Right.
So just do that and enjoy it, and then you might want to do something yourself. So I really enjoyed that, but it was in Brighton, so it was too far. So a couple of times I did hospital radio for a while, and then realised everyone was asleep, so it was kind of pointless, and you weren't allowed to make jokes and this. So then my father-in-law suggested Sunlight Radio, because he knew someone that worked down there.
Yeah.
And so I thought about it. I went down and spoke to them. Spoke to Greg, who was the radio manager at the time. He runs the studio.
Yeah.
The recording studio, and he's in Houdini and Bunch Swans and all these great bands. And I spoke to him and I said, I'll do one. He said there was no new music show at the time, so well, I'll do one. And I'll get new bands in and stuff like that. And I knew absolutely no one. I didn't know a band, didn't know a soul.
Okay.
Absolutely no one, but I knew I wanted to do it. But also, having been down to the other radio show and saw a band called The Rivers in the studio live, it was quite clear that I was talentless compared to these people. So the show to me had to have its own strengths, and then have the bands to take it that little step further. So the first band who interviewed, and I pre-interviewed it before the first show, was a band called Fried Berry Dogweasel, a metal band from from Who.
Okay.
And the drummer Jim Gamble is a tattooist in Raynham.
Okay.
He's a tattooist at Rich Art. And my brother knew him, and so he told me about them. So I listened to the music, and it was crazy rock, metal music. Necrophilopedia, I think, was one of the songs. It was just mental. I mean, the guitarist was really, really talented, and they were great fun. And I interviewed him and spoke to him about bands. So they were the first band I knew. And that's just I had a recording in the bag for the first show. We only spoke more about tattoos, because they're an amazing subject. But so that was the first band, but the first live guest I had in, went down to what was the old music record shop on the old Chatham High Street near Poco, just a bit further down. There was no record shop there, music shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, or something. I think I can't remember. But I went in there and just said, "No, any local bands?" And they gave me some. And there was a CD in there by a girl called Sophie J, who'd written and recorded this album when she was 16, and it was incredible. She was also the first guest, I think. She came in and played live. This was on a Saturday. So slowly on a Saturday, it was sporadically getting to know bands and going to local shops and buying records. I think some of the first bands heading after that weren't from Medway. There was a band called the Rileys from Essex, the Love Spuds, also from Essex. Who came in. It was good because they knew nothing. They thought it was a bona fide radio show, but it wasn't. It was just there was nobody listening. It was just me and Brandon and whoever else was open at the time, but Ross, I think.
Yeah.
Just trying to create a little buzz, you know.
Yeah.
And then because it was Saturday 12 to 3, and at the time it was only online, you know, in the summer, people weren't indoors listening to the computer and the car. So. But eventually it started to pick up, and and then we got some bands in. We did a show. We put a show on, I think. And then I think one of the first bands was probably Archie Wawas. They were definitely in on the Saturday. Yeah. So there was lots of that was my first introduction was forced. I forced myself to go and find some. Yeah, that's it. So Sophie J was definitely the first one. I don't even know if she do music anymore, but she went off to university. But really talented to go.
Okay. So we're here to do a top 10, and you have, unlike other people, come up with 10. Yeah,
well, it's really hard. I understand how hard it was. I thought it's easy. I write down 10.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh man, you can't do that. I had 22 or something like that.
Yeah.
So rather than so I looked at a different way. I thought, well, what were the 10 bands that really impacted on the radio show?
Yeah.
I'd rather do it that way, because some excuse me, some bands mentioned on the list, you know, they'll actually lead to groups of bands that some of little subsets in the radio scene.
Yeah.
So this isn't like I'm saying this. Well, I say like the top 3 are my favourite 3.
Okay.
The other 7 are there to. I was on there top 4, 5. I mean, they're all brilliant bands. You can't know, but there's a sort of like an impact on the show that all these bands had, and the reason they were on the list. So,
okay.
Have you heard of them all?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, I have.
Good.
Yes.
That's Andy.
Right, so we'll start at number 10.
Yeah. Well, no, we'll start. I think we should start. I should mention that when the show really started to kick off was when, and massive credit needs to go to Medway Eyes and Phil and all the guys that worked at Medway Eyes, because I found this ME2 album, or it came out of the ME2 album, and then Sergeant went back and got this ME1 album, and suddenly there was a catalogue of local music, and you know we played the hell out of that song, and that's really what I got in touch with Phil. But through the ME2 album, or the Medway Eyes albums, the show really managed to expand and, you know, be more and more Medway centric. We always played other music. We played music from all over where we could find it, but we always made sure that Medway was well represented. And after ME2, 3, 4, went to 4, didn't it? I think 5. Yeah, that was brilliant. And I found an old a Medway album in a recording studio at some night called Songs from the Medway Delta, which again was brilliant. And some of the people that were on there, Chris Garth and Loop and Crook were on that, and a band called was it Sunk Potato? I can't remember. Terrible names. But they know they're
Andrew Webber and the Headcoats.
And
Lick, I think was.
Yeah, Lick was on it. Yeah. And suddenly I had this we had a catalogue, and it was brilliant. And people were sending new bands were coming in and sending us stuff, and there was a little bit of a thing. But yeah, without ME2 coming out, the show would. I'd probably still be doing it, but I'd be talking to myself. But because of that, the show managed to go in the right trajectory. So yeah, ME2. So a lot of these bands I heard for the first time on those albums, and number 10, in particular, Wheels. It was really weird because I put ME2 on, I put it onto my iPod, and then within the next couple of days, I was working. I was out in London. I was walking around London, and I had my headphones on, and the song "Slow Down" I think it was on there, wasn't it? I was listening to it, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is such a good song." And then I thought I really should try and get these people on the show. Nothing else about that song, and so I just imagined them, just imagine these people, and then I was like, I can't get them on the show. They would be way too cool. They would be so cool, and because they sounded so cool and brilliant on that song.
Yeah.
I just thought, there's no way I can get this band on. They're just, I'm exposed for the fraud that I am, getting on the show. But eventually we got them on the show, and they're just the loveliest people.
Yeah,
you'd ever want to meet, and getting them in the studio was really a challenge to get that sound in such a small room.
Yeah.
Anna was in the wasn't actually in the studio. She was sort of in the doorway. There's like a double doors.
So Anna playing acoustic bass.
I think she was plugged in. We got them plugged in, and all the other guys. I think Will was playing slide guitar with a spoon, standing next to me.
Okay.
Adam on his drums. Yeah, and just brilliant. And but their sound. So I hadn't sort of heard that or expected to hear something as good as that.
Yeah.
So, and I've always had that love for Wills, and they're playing again now, aren't they?
Yeah.
And is Dee Dee in the band?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Dee Dee Bergman is on this list, and I haven't seen her on many lists, and it's a crime.
Yeah.
She is fantastic.
Yeah.
But she came in on her own, and she came in with Barry Kearns, as Kearns, and she came in with Joe Cottis, and she came in her own. And we did put some gigs on, and there was one time when Joe Cottis was playing a song, and it was a song he'd done with Dee Dee, or sung with Dee Dee before. I can't remember the name of it. And we had to get Joe on stage. Dee Dee was running late.
Yeah.
He was started playing. And he started playing a song, and then I was just sitting there watching, and Dee Dee walked in, and she just started taking her coat off, and then she's walking towards the stage, she starts joining in, singing, and sitting there and picked it up just instantly.
Yeah.
And she's incredible. But it's not on the list. No. Just that's why it's hard to do.
They've got a gig lined up for September, playing the Ship.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, I think I heard that. Yeah, is that with Petty Thieves? I think.
Yeah.
Which I haven't heard.
So they'll be around performing shortly.
Mm.
So that's Wheels.
Wheels, yeah.
Yeah, excellent choice.
Yeah.
Highly commended. Well done.
They're really good. Yeah, they're really good. And Lapis Lazuli, who are from the same band. I mean, it's like a side project, and they're brilliant as well. So.
Yeah. Okay. Next we have number 9, Singing Loins.
Yeah, Singing Loins. I mean, they are a famous, well-established Medway band. The reason they're on the list, the impact they had, is that we changed producer on the show once, rather dramatically and very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And before this happened, Phil Dillon had stepped in on the show to do. I think it was when my daughter was born. I think. And did a brilliant show, and he became a very good friend of the show, and for Medway Eyes, and for all those brilliant albums they put together. But then when I said to him, like, would you want to be our new producer? And he said yes, which is brilliant. And he said cool, and he'll take over booking the bands, And the first band he got, Singing Loins.
Wow.
So it was a show off. So that came in the show. It was Chris and Rob.
Yeah.
And I'd interviewed Chris Broderick before when the Singing Loins supported Leap and Crook, an album launch at Beacon Call Tavern. Singing Loins, the Sands Burrell, and the Flowing all supported Leap and Crook. And what we did is after their sets, we'd interview him in the garden. So I'd met Chris Broderick before, and was slightly awestruck, because he was brilliant. He was on stage playing a pair of scissors, and it worked. He played a pair of scissors.
Yeah.
Obviously it makes sense for the song. So after
Please Take My Scissors Away.
Yeah. And so they went back for the back catalogue, and they were like, "That's brilliant. That's brilliant bands." And then they got and Phil got them on the show. And the good thing when Phil came on the show was like, he could do the serious part of the interview because he can remember things like songs and album names and history and things like that, whereas my brain's a little bit more scattered. So I could just do the fun part of the interview. But the singing Loins I just sat back and watched. And they sung a version of Drunk and Fed acoustic, which I had in my car. I just listened to it virtually every day driving to work. It was just a beautiful song, and when it was stripped down, it was really had a lot of impact. But then I crashed and ran my car off and lost it.
Well, and it was the singing Loins' fault.
Oh, sorry, no. I wasn't playing at the time.
Oh, right.
No. Some idiot drove into me and ran my car off. So.
Oh, right.
But the one thing I never achieved from the car was this memory stick. So yeah, maybe I have to get Chris and Rob to do it private show for me.
Yeah.
If I go wandering in my night shirt, if I forget my way back home, should I be lost and later found there? Should I be hair and skin and bone?
But yes, and then everyone talks about Singing Loins, and there are some of the legends there. Singing Loins, The Claim, The Dentist, Pop Rivets, are just great bands, and to have them on the show, them and Bob Collins came on from The Dentists a couple of times, and he came on once, and I think that, again, when I wasn't on air, he did a show and did a show. Phil did a show, and Ollie from Theatre Royal interviewed him. And when I've interviewed them and spoke to them before, I had no idea that they were doing that when they were doing that, and how good they were.
Yeah.
Obviously now, and Bob, when they reissued They Think It's All Over, I got a copy of the album, and it's just pride of place in the record player. Is it blue or green? I think it's blue. Yeah, I'm a sucker for colour vinyl. But Singing Loins, they represent the ongoing legends of the Medway. Yeah,
Okay.
Really nice fellas. And even when I come back in their other guys, it's Chris Broderick came back in with Broderick and Barnes. Ratsko all came back in, Chris and Rob. It doesn't matter what they do; they're very, very good, very talented people. John Forrester, he was in the Singing Loins. He came up his own stuff, but he played guitar once in the studio live, and he did something. He played guitar. It was a normal guitar, and it sounded completely different. I was like, "What's that?" Because there was no mic, so no effects, and it was something called palm muting. Palm muting.
Okay.
Never knew about it. It was fantastic. And they're all really talented guys, and I'm not a musician. And never will be, but the talent that came in just in those first two bands, Wheels and Singing Loins, really made me want to make sure that the show, we raised our game to meet their level. I didn't just want to be like, we just want to latch onto the back of the incredible people coming in, and we had to do our own thing. So sometimes we hit it, sometimes we missed it. Most of the time we missed it, I
think. Number 8, Frail Pouch.
Yep, Frail Pouch. For a very similar reason to Wheels. But when I heard Wheels,
because they're just the same. They're very similar sounding bands, aren't they? Frail Pouch.
Very similar to Wheels. That's why. That's it.
Yeah,
they're like Wheels too. Yeah.
Explain how they're a bit like Wheels.
No, they're a bit like Wheels in their impact to the show. Whereas I heard Wheels and I thought, oh God, that's so cool, and didn't know anything about them. Andrew Day wrote an article in the Medway Broadside about this band called Frail Pouch.
Yeah.
And then I listened to it, and then whereas I didn't want to meet Wheels because they'd be too cool.
Yeah.
I didn't want to meet Frail Pouch because they would probably eat me or something. They terrified me. The thing about this band,
they do sound terrifying.
Yeah, they terrified me, but really, really, really good.
Yeah.
And it's that noise sort of scene, isn't it? So, and that's I'm much more the other side of the spectrum usually. I've always liked rock music, the old-fashioned style. But this noise thing was sort of new. And I read Andrew Day's article, and I was like, that they will tear me apart on air. They will definitely expose me for the fraud that I am doing this radio show. Anyway, got them on a show. And at the time it was Joe, Suze, and John Thomas. It was before Ollie was in the band. It was John. I was on the bass. And again, like Wheels, lovely people. Their lyrics, when and just chatting to them. I mean, to me, you know, Frau Patch. Also, you've got Bear versus Monero, similar thing. Punching Swans, which is obviously an offshoot, and Broken Banjo to an extent, Kill Rapunzel, all these bands that are singing about terrible things that shouldn't be put to music. Space chickens and I don't know. It was just crazy, but it was fascinating to get all these different bands in the studio. But without Frau Patch, probably wouldn't have gone and had an interest in the others.
Yeah.
But the point was as well, when you saw them live, they were brilliant. They were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Joe's guitar, John and Ollie's bass, Sue's keeping it all at the back, the drumming. They were really good, really talented. They just didn't sing about love or, you know, anything normal.
No.
Incredibly normal.
Down in the town, trouble his friends, drinking pukes. Mostly blunts and chunks of meat, they're glad he's back. And again,
really nice people. Got married, went to their wedding reception. I think I got really drunk. I don't remember much.
No.
I think I left early. I came, got so drunk, so I left really quickly.
Yeah.
And Joe's been in one of our little funny videos that we made. He's very funny and very good. He's quite a good actor. Yeah. He's good fun. And now plying his trade as a tattooist, which is good because someone's got to do it, I suppose.
Yeah. No, excellent people.
Yeah, really nice people. Yeah.
And then a slight change in genre. The Flowing at number 7.
Well, so we back in early days we wanted to raise when Sunlight gave me the opportunity to do the show, and I always saw it as an opportunity. They were doing me a favour, and I had to repay them, you know, because Sunlight does incredible work in the community, and during the day the radio shows are often presented by people with learning difficulties, and it's their outlet to the world, you know. In that studio talking to the radio, they're the same as everyone else, and it's really good for them, and they love it. But everything has a cost, and Sunlight is a charity. So and because we didn't require the supervision that they needed for their own protection, and as much as anything, I wanted to give something back to them. So I said, well, can we do a fundraiser gig for it? And they said, yeah, of course. So we put it on. So I booked Sophie J, who we mentioned earlier, a band called Daylight Savings from, I think that's sort of down Faversham way. We'd sort of they'd got in contact with us on the show or something. Again, a folky band, quite a beautiful singer. They came on, and a guy called Blind Boy Mike, who was a jewel. He sort of does like performance arts now around Medway Towns.
Yeah.
He was really good, and he was confident, so it'd be good for someone to go first. Then there was another Medway band booked to be the headline, but they were on the list. But then I remembered this. I took them off the list because they pulled out within about less than a week before the gig.
Okay.
And so I was like, and then Ross, who worked on the show at the time, used to do some open mics. I said, this is a band called The Flowing. He said, I said, you've got his number? I said, yeah, I said, ask him if they want to come and do this gig. And I'd said from the beginning to Sunlight, when we do this gig, all the door money is going, I'll split the door money to the bands. We won't get much because there's 4 bands.
Yeah.
And they're only charging £3 an entry, but they had the bar, all the bar money, the food money, so and they were fine with that. So I said, no, get them down and be paid and whatever. And I've never heard them. And they had no recordings at the time. It was very early stage because it was Dave and a couple of other guys. I think one was called Dan, and I forget the other guy who had long curly hair. So
Okay.
Brian May. It was Brian May.
Brian May.
He was in Flowing in the early days. And they stepped in, and I met them before, and I met Dave, and you know, like all the bands, virtually all the bands about on the show, really really nice people. And then and the gig was brilliant. I mean, I think we had well, there was over £80 on the door, so it was quite a few people for £3. Should have worked that out, but anyway, it was packed. You know, it was really good. It did sound like Calf Beer. It was just really packed, and the sofas were out, and everyone was enjoying themselves. And we put the Flying on last, and I was sitting next to, I think there was some kind of reporter there, I'm not sure where it was from, and I was just chatting to him during the night. I just sat down with him, and then I was like, I have no idea how good this band is. Literally, I know nothing about this band.
This could end up
It's
terribly.
Because Sophie J had been brilliant, Blind Boy Mike had had everyone clapping and singing along. Daylight Savings, everyone was just mesmerised and flowing, and I was like, there we go. And then they got into his first song, and I just rolled back and relaxed, and it was just beautiful. And then to see the band from then to where they are now with the current lineup,
Yeah.
with the girls, Theo, and everyone they've ever had in the band's been really good.
Mm-hmm.
They've just always been consistently brilliant. Dave is, as Phil Dillon always used to say on the show, Dave Pickett is the guitarist. He's just amazing with the guitar, and the way he sings his songs. And yeah, I've really enjoyed having them in all their guises over the years on the show. I think they were the last live band we had. I think before the show ended, which was a pleasure, a privilege, yeah. And they'll always be good, and they should be always be. I've seen them probably live more than any other Medway band, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are good.
Coming from that rightful throne, if love is all you have ever known, to be humbled by the ways of the test of time.
Possibly the only band in the world to feature a French horn, courtesy of Vicky.
Possibly, yes.
Well, because Vicky and Hannah were in
Los Salvadores. Okay, so when I think of the flapping, obviously Los Salvadores couldn't be on the list because Marv's a personal friend, so he's not allowed to be on the list.
He's not allowed to.
And I only liked one of their songs, which is Holly Shore, which is on Emmy too.
Okay.
But I went down to see Flying, and I met Los Salvadores down there. It was Marv, Gareth, Vicky, and Hannah, and they were fantastic, weren't they as well? And they did a tour, didn't they, with Wheels and the Flowing?
Yeah, yeah.
And Los Salvadores was really good. Los Salvadores. And that stage, when they started out, they were a punk band. When they started out, so yeah. I mean, Vic and Hannah are really, really talented and nice people. Yeah, but like, I saw Marv the other day and said that I'm not putting his band on the list. So yeah, he was happy with that.
Okay.
He tore that band apart. He ruined it for everyone.
Next, number 6, Loop and Crook.
Loop and Crook, yeah. Loop and Crook. What can you not say about Loop? Mosh, he's just very, very talented. When I joined Sunlight, there was sort of like reverence to him. He'd played a gig there, and the sound engineer Paul was just talking to me about him. And I'd listened to some of his music. Oh, it's really good. It took forever to get him on the show. He only came on the show, I think twice. We got him in the end. We were lucky at the end. But the Loop and Crook and the Murder Birds was sort of the time when I first started getting to know him. And then seeing him live was incredible. The depth of his music, how much he does, and how much energy he puts into it, and his art as well. You know, I've got his book at home, the Can't Bear book, the artwork book and poems about famous people. He's unique and very talented. Whatever band he's been in, I think. Yeah. I'm saying, and he's brought on lots of musicians as well. Yeah. He's not, doesn't stand still at all.
No.
But I can put on any of his albums and listen to him, or the EPs with the Murder Birds, and listen to them any time. And so I've got quite a bit of his vinyl, and it's really. And I've got some of his artwork on my wall downstairs at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got nothing. No, I mean, he's not someone I've ever had a conversation with outside the studio, or very brief, but hello. But yeah, I think he's brilliant.
Okay.
He's incredible. He's up there with some of the best Medway people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Any songs in particular, or?
Arts and Crafts always does it for me. Arts
Yeah.
and Crafts and Devil's Son. I've got the lyrics to Devil's Son. That came with one of his album things up on my wall, which is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chasing Dragons, again, brilliant song.
I met him outside of the club, under the archway, fell in love. He read a book and I read his mind.
Yeah, I mean, they're all good. And
Yeah.
I compare them to most people. Would never. Maybe say to people you like your local music scene, they're like, shit, innit? It doesn't know where you're from. You know, what music like? Well, you know, I like lots of music, but we like to get to know the local bands and a bit of their shit. But you play Lupin to virtually anyone, and they're like, he's really good, isn't he? He's really good, yeah. He's really good. Yeah, so yeah, he's always been. It was like a myth at first, and then eventually got to get him on the show. And it was quite nervous before. A lot of people got nervous before I came on the show, which is really weird to me because they would go and stand in front of people and perform. They come on the radio show, some got really nervous. But once the show started, he nailed it. Played some brilliant songs. He was really erudite in his interview, funny.
Yeah.
There was no awkwardness. It was just brilliant. Yeah.
Wonderful.
He should have been everyone's list, I think.
Definitely. Number 5, Pity Party.
Pity Party, which is Chris.
Two Chris's.
Chris Taylor,
and
and Matt Bell. Came on the show. They're a band that Phil arranged. All the best bands that came on the show, Phil arranged because Phil had all the connections.
Yeah.
And to my sins, I didn't really know a lot about them before they came on the show. And they came on and brilliant. They're just fantastic. Chris Taylor. He's such a brilliant writer and performer. And got to know Chris because Chris joined the show for a while. After Phil left. I should make up a rumour about Phil, like why he left, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Or I sacked him, but it's too late now. It's been years. They came in and blew me away, and we started at that point. Because when Phil and Martha were there, I didn't have to worry about anything technical. Okay, because they nailed all that, and I was free to make videos. And so I started making videos of the bands that came in live, and the Pity Party one was really good. And then I just went back and bought all the I got as many of the albums as I could. And then when Chris came on the show, I mean, Chris is so funny as well. His lyrics are brilliant. And I think like the week later, or 2 weeks later, Phil had booked in Upsea Downsea, so Chris Garth was back in again.
Yeah.
And then again, you know, I didn't know enough about Upsea Downsea, but Black Sea album I can stick on at any time and listen to it. It's just brilliant. Any of the albums, Black Sea in particular, is I think some of the best quality work. And just super talented. But Pity Party are just fantastic. I got to see, he did a gig. Chris did a gig for us down at Sunlight, one of the last gigs we ever did. It was just him on his own with his guitar, and it was fantastic. You know, he didn't. I can't remember the song. I don't think it was a Pity Party song, but he just opened up with his guitar. It was meant to be an acoustic gig. Everyone bought electric guitars. The sound engineer was going nuts at me. And Chris just put an electric guitar, and he started off and just did the chords, and just I'm pretty sure the first lines he's come out was "Suicide is a way of life," and just started singing the song in it, and everyone just stopped and listened, and were mesmerised by him. Yeah. I know he's not around Medway anymore.
Yeah.
I think he's up in Scotland now, but Pity Party and most all the bands from now on, you know, I listen to on a regular basis. I don't know how popular Pity Party are, or what's the last? He called himself after Pity Party. I don't know what it was called, but all the song names were like Mars, like chocolate bars with a letter missing or something. I can't remember. He came on the show and he was really good. He left shortly after. He didn't think he was quick enough or could keep up, but he he is genuinely a super talented guy and very funny. And yeah, Pity Party are just brilliant. Yeah, really good.
Okay. And then Joe Cottis.
No, you missed one.
No, sorry, not Joe Cottis.
Joe Cottis, no.
No. Number 4. Number 4, Balance Lost.
Yeah, Balance Lost, brilliant, just brilliant band. I mean, they are introducing light pollution. Is it light pollution? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yep. Again, like the Pity Party album, it's just fantastically well written and performed, and they're just a beautiful collection of songs. And they were really good. They were some of the most fun interviews we did and live performances with Pete and Matt. And, it was, and such as two people and all that sound on the album.
Yeah.
And if I could, I would definitely concentrate and learn an instrument just to be in Balance Lost. I would love to be in Balance Lost. That's so good. And some of the Pete's songs and lyrics are just fantastic. I mean, it'll never happen. But if I could, someone said, "Here's an instrument," I'd go, "Right, I'm in Balance Lost." I'll just go and join them. You know.
Okay.
And I always annoy Pete at his gigs if I see him, because there's a song on Introducing Light Pollution called is it Stupid Little Fish or Silly Little Fish? Something Little Fish.
Yeah.
But he hates singing it. But I made him do like a chorus once on a gig at the Nag's Head. It's a really clever song.
Yeah.
Like all his songs.
I'm a fish flapping at the end of the pier. Please throw me back into the sea. I'm not quite sure how I ended up here. My gills are open, but I cannot breathe. If any of you did the things I've been through, at the least you would have the bends. I don't know how, but I made it out. I can't say the same for my friends. They're all dead, or soon will be. They're all dead.
Balance Lost, I just yeah. I mean, they're different than most of the other bands. I'd love to see them as a full band. Normally it's Pete and Matt and then an iPad playing the rest.
You could be that iPad.
I could play the iPad. Yeah. No, I'd be a percussionist, because that's sort of like, you don't have to be too good to be a percussionist, do you?
Oh, there'll be loads of percussionists out there going,
So what am I going to do? Throw a bongo at me. This is why I'm not on the radio anymore.
You've offended all drummers.
Yes, I only ever had one complaint on the radio.
Yeah?
I'm a Britain First supporter. That was it.
For what reason?
I've been unfair towards Britain First, apparently. So I was. So I'm not going to deny it. I was, but when they marched.
Okay.
That nonsense, and my report on it was unbalanced.
I think I remember hearing that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's good. We were FM at the time. Sunlight Radio's gone non-FM again.
Yeah.
But there was a good period where we were FM as well as online. And,
yeah.
So obviously more people were listening. So the rules were a bit heavier, and so were the fines. Okay. But I think on that occasion, I don't really care what. I mean, when I went in trouble about it, I said, well, the station manager said, I've listened back to it. She said, there's no real. Yeah, he's right. You know, in his complaint. I stand by him. I said, yeah, that won't help me. So I don't even know what I said. It's such a long time ago, but
yeah,
that was the only complaint I think we had.
Okay.
Or the official complaint. I'm sure there was lots of complaints in most evenings, but there's the only official one we had.
And number 3, I'll get it right this time.
Yeah.
Joe Cottis.
Joe, yeah, beautiful Joe. I genuinely, I was thinking of this the other day, I can't genuinely remember when I first heard Joe or saw Joe. or what band he was in at the time. But we became really good friends. And then he had an operation to have some teeth removed, and his jaw was like an inch shorter. And now I don't like him because he looks different. He's now got a normal jaw, and the best thing about him was his jaw.
Ah. So that's drummers and people with normal-looking jaws.
Which I just never got used to it, and people, I still sing to them. I'm like, I still can't get used to your new jaw. Anyway, his music. Joe and in particular, it was really good in Survivors of Suki.
Okay.
With Monique, and Joe is so good on the guitar, and he sent me some songs before I was working on these, and they were just beautiful.
Don't like crying, don't like tears. There's no other way to relieve my fears.
And he's in bands, and he's been on his own. He's been in lots of different things. He helped me out a couple of nights on the radio. He's fun. He's clever. He's good looking now. Well, I think before was more good looking, but and he generally made when he came on the show, it always made me smile. And so the last time he came on the show, towards the end of the show, the songs he did. Just 3 songs he did and wrote. I don't think he ever recorded them, and they were just played on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really talented. He lives in Norfolk now.
Okay.
Where he could probably do with a bigger jaw.
Okay. And number 2, Baron von Marlon.
Baron von Marlon, another young man I fell in love with. Sean was Baron von Marlon. To start with, he was just on his own originally. I went to a gig up at the Beacon Court Tavern. I took one of my wife's friends because she wanted to have sex with the bass player of the other band that was playing that night.
Okay.
Okay, so she said, "Will you come with me?" So I was like, "Oh, I'll come with you." And this guy called Baron von Marlon was supporting him, and he got up on his own guitar, and it was fantastic. So on his own electric guitar, and it was just amazing. It was really good. It was kind of, people always used to. I don't know where it's coming from. They all said they sort of like a one-man Libertines,
Mm-hmm.
which is I kind of see it. I suppose because of the way he sung.
Yeah.
But it was just on his own, and so we had a chat, and then a few weeks later I was like, "So you got to come on the show. It'd be really good. Got to come on the show." And again, and Light It Flowing, the band grew and grew and grew, and got really big. And the EPs they released before they split up, I still listen to regular.
Flora and Fauna.
Flora and Fauna, yeah, it's one of them. Yeah, I can't remember. It was terrible. And I still stay in contact with Sean. Sean lives in France now. They would always be some of my favourite gigs. I mean, they were brilliant. They were very very short life, but they really made an impact. I think one of the reasons I liked it because they made an impact on me on the show was because if it hadn't been for my wife's loose friend, I would never have got to see them and see the bands. And I think it was just like a Wednesday night at the Beacon or Tavern or something.
Yeah.
You know? And the band that we went to see were terrible. So I can't remember what they're called. So, but he was there. I think it must be he was friends with someone in the band, up their band, and they were like a terrible rock band,
Mm-hmm.
and he was nothing like that. More folky, indie, I suppose, if you had to label him. And some of the guys in that band have now that band's no more. Joined forces with some of the Jamie and the Portraits, who were like a Sittingbourne band, I suppose. And now Get Inuit, who are doing brilliant things up and down the country. Jamie is an incredible songwriter and guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
So that little group with Jamie and the Portraits were also fantastic. And a gig with them and Baron von Marlon, they did a few gigs together. They were always really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Baron von Marlon, just love him. Brilliant.
Did you hear all the child said that he wants to be an astronaut someday? And And his parents have just said that for him the sky's the limit. No, they don't understand what's happening. And his parents have just said that for him the sky's the limit. No, they don't understand what they're saying.
And then number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can say it.
Well, it'll be no surprise to anyone who listened to the show, but Archie Wawas. I love the Archie Wawas.
Okay.
They were so much fun.
Yeah.
Really good, like ska, punk, rock. I don't know quite how to describe it. They came on the show several times, and they used to have their practice night was also Mondays. I would see them quite a lot.
Okay.
I went to see them in London. Went to loads of their gigs around here. We I think when I recorded one of their practice sessions down to Sittingbourne once. There's Richard, Andy, Theo, who's in Flowing, and Quinn, the drummer at the time. They're faultless in my eyes. Their songs were poignant and funny and clever, and they're really good live.
Mm-hmm.
They were really good laugh. Me and Richard, the lead singer, went out on many a night out. Not just to go see other bands as much as we could. But we got to know each other really quite well. I asked them to name a song after me, but they didn't. Well, he said they did, but the song's called The Hunchback, so I don't think that's me. They said that you can have that one. I was like, okay, but yeah, Archie Wiles, I'd love them to get back together.
Yeah.
It's unlikely though, I think.
Okay.
One of them's with Jesus now.
Okay.
Not dead. He just goes to church a lot.
Okay.
Somewhat from what I've heard.
Right.
But yeah, Archie, I mean, I always said that on the radio show, because on the last show I had to say who was my favourite band. It was Archie Wiles. Stuart Turner was always my favourite interview. Stuart Turner. So it was unfair to put him on the list, because I could talk to Stuart. I mean, your interview with him was long and prolonged.
Yeah, it stretched for
days.
Days. Yeah,
Felt
I think
like-
it might
felt
still
like
be
days.
going. Actually.
Yeah. But Archie Wiles were just always my favourite band.
Keep yourself in the moment. Try to live your life in the present. Try to keep your mind in the moment. Try to live your life in the present. Stop wondering and wondering. Stop wondering and wondering. Stop wondering and wondering. Stop wondering.
That's it. That is how you do a top 10 with 10 bands. See,
I mentioned more than
Stuart,
10.
learn from that. 10.
Yes, it is difficult. It is really difficult. But you should do Phil Dillon, because he'll never do 10. Phil could do 100.
Yeah, that's true.
Mark would only do 1. I forgot to mention, the same people I haven't mentioned, Slap Alice.
Oh, here we go. We're spoiling it now. Going over 10.
I'm not going over it, it's not my top 10. You know.
Slap Alice, right?
Slap Alice, who else have I forgotten? Tyrannosaurus Alan,
Yeah.
brilliant band. No, don't what happened to them? I must have mentioned Broken Banjo, but they were good. Theatre Royal,
Yeah.
Stuart Turner. I mean, they're all. I can genuinely say, apart from 2, maybe 3, every band we ever had on, we liked
Mm-hmm.
collectively most of the time, and we respected it, and were really, really good.
Yeah.
There was only a couple of occasions where some people slipped through the net. Both producers' faults.
Not yours.
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for the chat.
You're welcome.
That's great. I'll see you again soon when I'll be talking to somebody.
Speak to Phil.
I'll speak to Phil. Yeah, I'm speaking to Phil next, apparently.
Oh, would? He'll give a much better interview than that. And he knows more.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.